Namaste. Hello, dear ones. So I'm live here to do another introduction about Yoga Nidra. We will have a Yoga Nidra teacher training in Kopangan, Thailand on the 26th of February to the 2nd of March this year. Sophia is organizing it, so for any information or registration, please contact Sophia. I will add her to this video. And today I would like to talk a little bit about lucid dreaming, because this will take a big part in our teacher training. Yoga Nidra is the practice of awakening to our sleep, awakening within our awareness, awakening in our lives to our full potential, to our essence, and of course also in the sleep itself at nighttime. So we spend a lot of time sleeping in bed and not using this time for anything then, if you manage to rest, recover, and reboost our entire system. So we could use this time in sleep to become aware of the fact that we are sleeping. There is a distinction between sleep yoga and dream yoga. So today we will speak about dream yoga, or it's also called lucid dreaming practices. It is much easier to awaken to our sleep, to awaken in our dreams. To awaken in our dreams has, of course, lots of benefits for us. We can use this time to do our spiritual practice, to do our sadhana. We can use this time to bring healing to our wounds, to our psychological, emotional level. We can introduce new affirmation in our dream. We can use it for living our fantasies. In the old Mexican tradition, it's a shamanic tradition from South America, they say if you manage to dream about it, you will be able to manifest. So they use dreaming practices a lot to dream before they manifest any new project. They will dream about it, and they will dream about it with as much and as many details as possible, to recreate that in the wakefulness state. I have come across lucid dreaming by my teacher, who said in one of his lectures that if you don't have time to do your sadhana, then why not use the time that you have during sleep to do your sadhana? And this opened my ears, because at that time I was an independent mom, a single mom, and I used any free moments to do my sadhana. When he was having a nap, my son, when he was going to bed, I would practice at night, I would practice at lunchtime. And when I heard that I could do it at night, I started to be really interested, and I started my lucid dream practice. And it was surprisingly easy to awaken to my dreams. To hold the consciousness in my dream worlds was more challenging. It was more challenging because the intensity of the experience in the dream world is amplified. The colors are more intense, the feelings are more intense, the thoughts feel they're straight there. To avoid anything or to suppress is almost impossible. So to truly stay conscious, to stay lucid in our dreams, that is the more challenging part. To awaken in our dreams, it is said that at least once every person has a lucid dream at once in their lives. I practice it regularly, and I'm always and still, even after years, so surprised about the effects, because it's very, very efficient to do, for example, healing works in our dreams. Why? Because when we're sleeping and dreaming, we shut off our logical, comparing, doubtful, critical mind, and we dip straight into our subconscious. So the inner walls are fully open to us, and our subconscious is very receptive. Our subconscious does not argue with new affirmation. Our subconscious does not lie to us. It is very direct. It's a very direct contact with ourselves. And I can give you an example of my experience. 4 years ago, I had incredible back pain, and my body is quite healthy usually, so I was really suffering from it. I could barely stand straight. I couldn't even walk for 3 days, and I couldn't do my yoga practice. I couldn't teach my yoga classes. And it wasn't until a friend asked, "Don't you do lucid dreaming? So why don't you ask, what is it standing for? Why is it here for you?" Because the doctors couldn't explain. They said there is nothing wrong with my physical body. They can't find the problem. I went to chiropractic also. They couldn't fix it. So then I decided, yeah, it's a good reminder. Let's explore within the dream what it is, what it stands for. And that night I dreamt about my brother, and about an issue we had in our childhood. And he was at my place during that time. He was visiting us. And then I could see that this problem we had in our childhood was coming up through triggers now within the relationship to my brother, but I wasn't aware of it. So then I just faced the original wounding, and I was lucid in my dream, and I could create a healing movement by creating a field of forgiveness, by creating a field of deep understanding and compassion. And I woke up that morning and my back pain disappeared fully and never returned. That was quite intense and quite direct and very beautiful for me to explore it in such a way. Also, it is said that if we do our spiritual practice, our sadhana in the dream, the Tibetans, they do it quite a lot, is one of their main practice. They even have the dream practice to such an extent that some of the lamas would only accept a new student if they would receive the dream sign they would pass on to the future possible optional student. And then the teacher would ask the student, like, what did you dream about the past nights? Did you receive any sign? And if they would know the sign, if they would have received that, for example, mantra or that picture of a specific Buddha, then they would be accepted to receive further information. So further studies. So it is said that if we practice our spiritual sadhana during dream, that the effect to our soul level, to our spiritual level, is much more direct, because our multidimensional being is created by the physical body, by the energetical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual body. There are a bit more, but this is to just make it simple for now. And if we practice dream practice, we are in our emotional body. We are in our astral consciousness. And the astral consciousness is much closer. It's basically in the middle between the physical body and the spiritual body. So whatever we do there is much more fine and can move much more straight to both directions. So as I said, the main challenge is, first of all, to remember your dream practice. The second is to awaken to your dream. And the third is to stay awake in your dream. Yeah. Some people love to just follow their impulses and fantasies for the first times when they start to do lucid dreaming. I don't know, they explore abundance, in money, in sexuality, in beauty. They create houses, cities. If you would like to watch a movie about interception, it's a good recommendation here. They fly. Many people will love to fly. It's a beautiful, beautiful experience to fly in our dreams. And then at some point they get bored because this is just entertainment for the mind, right? So then the yogis come into the game and they say, yeah, we don't use our dreams to entertain our mind. We use the dreams to train our mind, to purify our being, to get ready for awakening our consciousness in a more elevated and subtle level. When I was a child, I was suffering from insomnia and nightmares for many years due to an early child trauma, which at that time no one knew. And I would wake up screaming in my bed, and I would just be shaken by fear. And my parents would need to take me out of bed every night for years. Sometimes I would wake up in the chamber or in a different room, screaming and being really terrified by fear. And at some point, my father got so desperate about this, and of course it's also tiring, it was tiring for my parents too, that he said, my dear one, why don't you try to just escape the dangerous situation in your dream by flying? And my eyes was like, wow, what? I can escape a situation in my dream? And then he said, yes, of course you can. And he said it in such a convincing way that me as a child looking up to my father was certain that this was the truth. Yeah, I believed instantly. And he said, you just need to get up onto something higher, like a wall, a table, a chair, whatever, and then you jump and you can fly. So I believed. That was the ending of my nightmares, because I just did what he said. So first of all, for me, being in a trauma response, being in the victim, it was the empowering step to know that I could be in control, at least to escape, at least to get away from the danger. And of course, it brought much more calmness to my sleep life, and gave me some sort of self-empowerment, right? So you don't need to step onto anything higher to fly. It's up to your rules. You decide whatever you need to do in order to fly. Maybe you need to raise a hand, maybe you need to open your arms or to jump, whatever it is, and you can fly. There are no limits to your dream creation. Let me say that again. There are no limitations in your dream manifestations. This means you can create, manifest anything in your dream. Then another step is you leave your own astral world, your own subconsciousness, and you step up into something higher. And if you have the big heartfelt desire to meet a spiritual master, you can sit there with Buddha and receive teachings. Yeah, it's truly that. I have a lucid dreaming teacher in London, and he told me once about a dream that he had. He would wake up and go in his dream, and go for a walk in the London streets. And then he woke up to his dream because the street was exactly as it was, but there was a church in his neighborhood, which is in reality not there. So he would enter the church, he would sit down, there were many people, and he wondered, because those people who were attending the mass, they looked almost unconscious. They had like strange body postures. I imagined like zombies kind of thing. They would dream walk kind of thing. He was the only one who was seemingly lucid, and a woman in front who was holding the mass in the church. And after some talking, she would ask everyone to step up and to receive a blessing from her and then leave the church. So these zombies would walk to that woman and she would whisper something in their ear. Sometimes she gave a blessing or she touched some part of the body and she let them pass. And when it was his turn to be in front of that woman, the woman said, "Oh, hello, you are Lucid." He said, "Yes. Who are you and what are these people and what is this church and what is happening here?" And she said, "I'm giving keys for spiritual evolution." And she whispered something into his ear about a fear in relationships that he has to face in order to grow. And he was thanking her. He was very grateful. He left the church and he woke up remembering his dream fully, and he could transform this fear in his relationship. So this is when we enter the realms of the opportunities to meet others, to receive teachings, to receive healings from external support. So the first question is how to become lucid in dreaming, probably for most of you. So there are some reality checks. We will go through them in the training, but for now you need to become aware of something that is awkward in your dream. For example, you may, if you look at your hands may be green, or your nails long and pink, or you have a 6 finger on your hand, or something is awkward, or you meet a person that has died already, your grandma or your grandfather, and you will be like, "Oh, this is not real." So the question, am I dreaming? Yes, I'm dreaming because grandma died, or I have a 6th or 11th finger, whatever. And then you push yourself into lucidity. And once you're lucid, you would want to know what to do. So you need to have a good intention. Why do you want to wake up in your dreams? For example, if you have a specific area of healing, then be aware of it when you go to sleep. I, for example, want to explore my back pain and I want to know the origin and bring healing to that part, as an example, as I did, for example. Or you want to know the existence, understand the existence of yourself. Who am I? Yeah. Or you want to explore the reality, karma, time, space, whatever you would like to understand. But you need to really want it. You need to really have this question filled in your heart. You need to have an emotion to it. Yeah. And it's good to write it down and to really say this sentence while you're falling asleep. I really want to explore my back pain. I really want to understand my back pain. And you fall asleep with that question. Because once you are awake in your dream, you may not straight know what to do. I had students who said, "Yeah, finally I woke up in my dream and I was in my apartment and I didn't know what to do, so I made myself a cup of coffee." Until I lost consciousness again. Yeah, so that's why it's important to know why you would like to know why you would like to wake up, what you want to do once you are lucid. And here the secret ingredients to make your affirmation, your desire, your heartfelt desire come true and bring to your awareness while you're dreaming, you need to put the emotion of curiosity. Yeah, like a greenhorn, like a child, like you really want, there's nothing more that you would like to understand and explore more in this world. Yeah, because this is the language of our subconscious. Our subconscious talks in colors, shapes, emotions, associations, etc. So the more emotion you have filled in your affirmation, in your desire, the more likely you will remember in the moment of your lucid dream. So if you have any question, feel free to just put into the chat, yeah, or to write in the comments so I can see and can go into your questions also. So my journey with it is also for now, when I don't have any emotional challenge, I mean, there might be always emotional challenge if I'm very honest, but if it's not on my agenda very high or if it's not urgent, I use the time to do my prayers. I use the time to do my compassion prayers, my meditation. I say my mantras. I visualize my yantras that I'm working with. I stand on my head, I do my headstand, or whatever it is, Nadi Shodhana, some breathing technique, whatever it is, I try to include it into my dreams, and I feel it is much stronger. Why and how? Yeah. Once a student asked me, like, what kind of practice do you do, and how does it help you in your life? Like, does your meditation practice do something for your wakefulness state, like during our day? And that is a good question. Like, the practice you do, does it work for you? Does it bring change? Does it bring transformation? Does it help you to truly wake up? Does it shift your consciousness? So that I love that question, because at that time I answered no. I can't really say that it does a change to me or my life that I could point on to. And now I can say, yes, it does. Yeah. So these are just the contemplation questions for you to be explored, to find answers about. The Tibetan Buddhists, they have a specific order what and how to do their dream practice. So first of all, of course, they need to become aware that they're dreaming. Then they need to become aware of their own dream body in the dream. So they need to, I don't know, see the tip of the nose is something you can always do in your dreams, or your fingers, or see your body walking. Then they ask you to face your biggest fear. So, for example, if someone is afraid of fire, they ask you to walk through the fire. If you have a fear of height, they ask you to jump from the cliff. Something like this. It's quite advanced. I would not recommend it to the beginners because it can also bring a strong re-traumatization or strong nervous system problems, yeah, anxieties, etc. I'm just saying how the Tibetans do it. And then, once they have done it, then the lucid dreaming practice only starts. Then they want to educate themselves about changing their dream body. For example, I have blonde hair. Next to my dream, I want to have black hair, or I don't want to have any hair, or I want to be in a male body, or in an animal body, or whatever. This is really difficult. I didn't manage yet, to be honest. Then they try to change objects. For example, the cup of coffee, they change it to a building or a shop or a person or something like this. And then they go into visualization techniques. You know, the mandalas, the Buddhist mandalas in Tibet, they're super with many details and colors. Like there, I don't know, 12 Buddhas, and each Buddha has 15 items and different colors, ropes and lights around them, and they visualize it in their dreams to the little details, to the perfections. Some of them have one mandala and they practice it all their life until they reach perfection. And again, how does it change your life? Does your life benefit from these practices? This is a question that you can only answer by yourself. But what they say is, if we train our mind to follow our will, our heart, and not just our karma, our survival strategies, our conditioning of the subconscious, yeah, because 95% of our decisions are coming from our subconscious, right? And our subconscious is something like 7 to 9 years old. So our decisions, for many people, are not mature decisions, yeah, and not conscious decisions. So they say if we train our mind, we can train our reactions and our response, or we transform our reactions to responding to life, rather than just reacting from a place of fear, from a place of conditioning. So taking real new decisions, experiencing inner freedom, is for sure one of the benefits of training your mind during sleep. Yeah, you will experience a prolonged freedom gap. You will be able to expand the room between there's a trigger coming and your respond to it, and you can actually think. I remember one of my teachers, he spoke about the freedom gap, and when I heard about it the first time, I was like, wow, that's really great. I am not sure if I'm experiencing a freedom gap. Like from the neurobiology or neuropsychology standpoint, we all experience it any given moment, trigger and reaction or respond. But are we aware of it? I wasn't at that time. It's something like 10 years ago that I heard about it first time. And then I started to observe myself and to see, do I experience this freedom gap? And I started to feel, yes. For example, my son who made a mess in the house, and my reaction was, okay, I get really angry right now. Am I gonna react to that anger or not? Most of the time, I still did react on that anger. But what was very satisfying, the moment of decision. I was still not able to be strong enough. My mind was not strong enough to follow my ideal response, my response to my higher values in that moment. But I could feel the possibility of freedom within, and that already gave me a big relief. And I could see that this meditation practice in my dream hasn't this effect on my life, on my daily life reactions or response. There's a question. Is it like doing vipassana kind of when you're sleeping? Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. The vipassana meditation can be a very big tool to wake up in your dream, or to do this vipassana meditation in your dream itself. So if you fall asleep during the meditation, for example, or you do a yoga nidra for sleep, so you follow a script that leads you through the waves of consciousness while slowly drifting off, or potentially drifting off, but you can stay lucid in these transitions. And for this, vipassana for sure helps, because you have the anchor of your breath or sensations that will always keep you awake, because we will breathe through the night, all night long, right? Our brainstem here, the reptilian part of our brain, is supporting us in this. We don't need to become. We don't need to be aware of breathing in order to breathe. We breathe anyways. So if we manage to be aware of each breath, for sure it will help you to stay lucid, either in transitioning to sleep or dream, or to wake up, yeah, in your dream. So a very good question. This exploration of sensation, what we do in Vipassana, brings a very fast experience of pratyahara. It's a state of Patanjali, a yogi. It's a state when we bring all our senses that are being directed towards the outside to the inside. This happens anyway every night. All our senses, may it be the eyes, the smell, the hear, everything goes to the inside, and they turn towards the inner worlds. So if we manage to be more aware of our senses, of our sensations, then it's much more easy to become aware of this moment when the senses turn inward, because it's actually a very beautiful feeling. For those who have experienced it in meditation, the moment when you're from there, inputs. I do dark retreats, for example, regularly, and then the moment when everything turns inward and you don't have any new input data coming in, but you have the time for integration, you have the time to digest all the teachings that you received during the day, during your life, basically. And this moment of pratyahara is something that we train in Yoga Nidra in particular very, very much, and we become aware of this moment of transitioning from the senses outside going inwards. it's said that the yogis say that most people are slaves to their senses. They run all their lives after their senses, right? They compare it to wild horses. Okay, so one horse is saying, "Oh wow, that tastes very good. So let me get that ice cream." Not thinking about, is it now something I really need or I want, or is good for me, is feeding me. Or they run after sexuality. They consume relationships just to have feelings again and again and again. So these wild horses run after the appearance of happiness, right? What makes me happy? What satisfies my senses? Most people think that this is what makes them happy. But happiness is a huge value that can't be reached by fulfilling the senses only. Yeah. So the Vipassana meditation and also the Yoga Nidra will educate us to become more aware. Yeah, to become more aware of what is an impulse, wanting something, attaching, holding on, and what is my true desire, coming from my higher values, from my heart, from my soul, from my essence, that I would like to experience, that is important for me. Yeah. Thank you. So the training of our mind involves all of this. Involves our impulse control, so our senses. Helps us to be in the state of pratyahara, experiencing it in Yoga Nidra, in the lucid dreaming, and then applying it to life, yeah, to our wakefulness state. And this is when we're awakening to our true heart, when our higher intellect takes over, takes charge, and really manifesting the life we would like to manifest according to our values that we set, our deep core values, our values of our soul, our spiritual values. Yeah. So these are some signs that you will see your spiritual practice is working. You're having good fruits in your life from your spiritual practice. And yeah, whatever you would like to explore in your lucid dream, put it into a sentence. Bring an emotion to it, so that you really feel the wish, and that you bring this state of curiosity, of really wanting to know, because this answer is the answer. Yeah, like a child. This will help your subconscious to remember in the moment of dreaming. So whenever you have any questions, just let me know. If you would like to join our teacher training in Thailand, I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I'm looking forward to meet you. I'm looking forward to spend the time with you, to explore our inner world during nights, during our sleeps, and to learn from each other. Okay, so I see you next week. Namaste.